This is a tricky one this morning. 9:30 just popped away from us. No retest. It would have been a little scary with the retest too, to be honest, with the velocity of the open. Got news at 10. So right now I'm just focusing on looking at ES, and then depending on what happens, may start looking at NQ. Yeah, so when the price pops like that, I'm looking at two fibs, looking at the London high to the current low that we were at. This is fib number 1 for my premium and discount ranges. We also have the midnight open, which is an extra confluence for premium and discount. And then is in this displacement leg here, I would like to take something behind the 50 fib level, because if you take anything before that, let's say that we were entering here, this is where you would have to place your stop loss. And then you wouldn't have a really great, well, you'd have a 1-to-1, but you'd like to aim for something that's a little better, especially when you have a displacement leg like this. So you'd probably want to aim for something along those lines. This would make a lot more sense in terms of risk to reward than this trade here. If this hits London high, it's unfortunately game over for ES, because the probability rate of being able to do anything after both previous session liquidities have been rated is atrocious, and you don't want to be in those conditions. This is going to make us wait until the 10 a.m. news, and then we're going to have to react. The game plan is already there. We're looking for a retest of that 50 level. When there's multiple fair value gaps, a lot of times it could be a raid. I'm always looking for that mid mark of the displacement leg, which is another premium and discount level on that displacement leg. The only two fibs that I use are the premium and discount 0.5 or 50%, and then I have the TGIF one. It's not applicable in this scenario here, but it is on a weekly candle. And I'm going to trade with you guys on Friday too for NFP. So depending on how the week goes, maybe we'll be using the TGIF. We tested this area here on 15. We had displacement. We're retesting fair value gaps on the 15-minute time frame as well. Do you understand the importance of not buying in this area here to try to make it up for, this distance? That would have been a pretty tough pullback to swallow in terms of drawdown if that was the case. So this should be the last line of defense, is this FVG here. If we can go through that, technically we're going to go hit the high from the New York session. It'd be nice to have a clean New York session. Yesterday was awful. If you guys were in the discussion room for the live comments, it was not pretty. What I find interesting, I've never talked about this, is some periods of the day you may have ES be more bullish, for example, and then later in the day you see that NQ ends up being more bullish. So I don't understand the relation with that. And again, I don't know if it's DXY related. I don't know it's related to what. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's not related to fundamentals. But that's something that I've observed is one part of the day you have one that may be stronger, and then it switches to the other one. So that's something I think is worth investigating. I've never heard ICT talk about that either. So now we're stuck between fair value gaps, bullish and bearish. Our trade idea was based on the confluences that we're seeing on 15 minutes. So on the higher time frame, this still seems like a good trade. I miss those months that you were referring to. They were a lot cleaner, faster. The favorite ones are the turtle soup at New York Open, where you just clipped the London low and then you would displace immediately to the upside on 5 minutes. And it was so clear, and you could just like ride the entire daily range like that. Those were the good months last year. I wonder if this is the reason why ICT kind of stays away from the markets in December and January. Maybe there's another underlying reason, but they've been tougher months. We have inversion on 15 minutes, which is a really good sign for a bullish movement. Yeah, this one may be playing out again on 15 minutes. I don't even know if DXY reacts the same way as the indices that we're looking at. Like technically, if the London high on DXY just got clipped, shouldn't that be a high reversal probability? And if it's a high reversal probability and we reverse, technically the indices are inversely correlated, so it would make the indices go back up. So that's kind of the questioning that I have behind this. How does it move? This is a nice seek and destroy profile. Maybe we'll get lucky and see this displace all the way down. NFP week. What does ICT say? He says the wicks do the damage and the bodies tell the story. Look, I hope that we're still right on this idea, because we've only had wicks. This one, I bet you hurt a bunch of people. What do you guys do when you place a trade like this and everything's mechanical and it's set up? What is it that you guys do while the trade is playing out? Oh, I'm not I'm not a native English speaker. I'm actually French, and English is my second language. So, and I lived in the US for 7 years. So that's kind of how I picked it up as well. But yeah, it's I'm from the French part of Canada, so that's why I pronounce the French names correctly. Today is one of those days where I really want to close this thing, but I'm going to leave it because we did decide that to enter a trade, and if we have the reflex of doing that, it gives us, if it ends up working out, let's say I close this at break even and then it ends up hitting the stop loss, I've now conditioned myself to take decisions that are based on my emotions. So for that reason, we're going to leave this thing open, and it's either going to hit the New York AM high or the New York AM low as a stop loss. So that's what happens when you start looking at the charts, is you start making stuff up and you let your emotions make the decisions for you. So it's going to be an SL or a TP. But as per the protocol, you shouldn't be breaking even until you've had a chunk of pie. So until you've had a partial, you shouldn't really be touching anything. You're taking the initial risk, right? Like you've based your decisions on, hopefully, on a protocol that has demonstrated an edge. And then if you open the trade and you closed it, you've given yourself the chance to hitting the stop loss while it was open, but you've really never given yourself a chance to make money. So Tom Hugard talks about that in his book, Best Loser Wins. And yeah, that's when the emotions come into play, is you give yourself the opportunity to hit the stop loss, but you don't give yourself the opportunity to make a profit on the other end. So it is what it is. Yeah, right. That's a good point. And it depends on your style. So yeah, I feel like with ES, I would place the break even too soon, and then it would retrace back into, the entry for a zero. Yeah, the partials game is, if you're full porting, it depends on your level of patience. It all depends on trading styles. Like, you have an initial recipe for success. You need to prove to yourself that it works. You need to prove to yourself that it works better than the other thing that you thought that worked well. And then once you've kind of eliminated that other one, then you can start fine-tuning the one that you have based on data and based on your trading style. So if you're somebody who doesn't mind being in a trade for a long period of time, you can set that break even and come back to $0 for the time invested in planning that setup, or you come back to a 3 or 5 hour winner. So it all depends on how you're able to manage those decisions. Guys, in the interest of everyone's time today, I'm going to close the live stream at 11. This trade is going to run. There's not going to be anything different than what you're seeing on the screen now. So it's either stopping out the 3 contracts here, or it's going to partial to out at the New York AM high, and then the last one at London high. If it does end up going to the New York AM high, this will become a break even. And again, I'm not going to touch anything else, but you guys today will see the results from this trade that I'm stuck in right now. In respect for everyone's time, 11 a.m. is kind of I really want to do this 10 to 11. I'm going to schedule another live stream for Friday for NFP. NFP days are really good. So we don't want to be scared of the red news folders. It's one of the big 4. But if you know when it's time to actually look at entering, those are some of the best days. No trades tomorrow morning. Very, very low probability conditions. FOMC PM is tradable. We're not going to do it live because I need to trade on some of the other accounts and I've got to get some stuff done. But I'm not going to be trading the AM because of the low probability FOMC conditions. I may trade the PM session. But I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't plan on taking anything until something shows up. So thank you for your time, guys. And this live stream will be uploaded in the appropriate section, in the live recording section. And I'm also making it simpler for you guys in the comments under that live stream recording. I'm posting the entries. So if you missed the live stream altogether and you want to rewatch it, because I can drop a comment or 2 in there that may help you. Like, it's completely there. You can watch the entire thing. But if you just want to see the entries and the management, I'm actually tagging the time that the entry was taken. So you can look a little bit before and at the time of the entry, and it may help unlock a thing or 2 in your trading. So hopefully that helps.
A few moments later.
So if you made it this far in the video, this trade took a lot longer than expected, but during the trade, you guys saw that there was a moment where I just wanted to close it, and the trade idea was still valid on a higher time frame. So on 15 minutes, this played out exactly like it should have. You just have to grind through it and not make the mistake of breaking even or closing the trade and then giving yourself the opportunity to lose, but never giving yourself the opportunity to win. The only other thing really that I could have done better was to get a little more aggressive on the entry based on the higher time frame confluences. So I'd give myself a 7 on 10 for this trade. If you guys like this new style of video, please smash the like button and let me know in the comments. Thanks and have a great day.